Hello, my name is Charles Thornton. Please make sure you go to my Facebook page, The Warrior Class 2, and check out some of my videos. If you like my videos, if you agree with some of the things that I'm saying, make sure you share them with your friends, and also make sure you tweet them out. The last time I made a video, I talked about Waka Flocka's interview on The Breakfast Club, and I gave him kudos for his level of maturity in that interview. I had a conversation with him a few years ago, whereas we talked about, different aspects of music, the influence of music on the youth in the community, and he was very intelligent and articulate with me in that conversation. And I was just extremely excited to see him on that platform discuss and show his intellect. And a few weeks later, Young Jeezy, another individual who I had a conversation with in regards to the community and the effect of music on youth culture, he didn't say too much, but it was a friendly exchange. And he was on The Breakfast Club, and he talked about how now he's communicating with the Honorable Louis Farrakhan at least twice a month, and you can see his growth and maturity and development. And I was also glad to see him, another artist from Georgia, use that platform to speak intelligently about things that are important. And most of my videos, if you've seen, they're kind of focused or geared towards a Southern rapper, T.I. I haven't had the opportunity to speak to him in person, but I send these videos out, so hopefully you'll get an opportunity to see them and just think about some of the things that I'm saying. And for some of you guys that don't understand why I discuss music, is because music is one of the most important, or one of the important foundations to culture. And it's very important. Music can have a lot of positive change in communities. It can be a destructive agent in communities. So what I want you to look at, T.I., is I think you're one of the better rappers as far as skill set, not content wise, but your skill set. You're at the upper echelon of that. But I want you to think about the content you're put out. You're no longer with your record label, you're independent unless you've signed recently. But now you kind of put out the type of music that you want. And I just want you to think about how a lot of the kids from the area where you're from, because I've done community service in the Bankhead area, and I just want you to understand that a lot of those young kids that grew up in single parent households, they look up to you. They're always trying to find some male figure to identify with, and you happen to be that person for a lot of them because you're from that area and you're from the city of Atlanta in the state of Georgia. So I just want you to really understand the type of information and music that you're putting out. Because when you go on TV and you talk about any aspects of Black Lives Matter, and what you speak intelligently on those issues, and then you go out and you put out music that glorifies the illegal distribution of narcotics and drugs, firearms, violence, it's kind of counterproductive and counterintuitive. So I just want you to think about some of those things. And look at some of the young rappers out today, like Kendrick Lamar. He was recently invited to the White House, where he had conversations with President Barack Obama in regards to mentoring. And Kendrick Lamar is using his platform and his influence to inform other people about the importance of mentoring. And I think you have that capacity to do that, and you could be extremely successful at that. So I give Kendrick Lamar a lot of respect and props for the work he's doing. But not only him, it's a lot of other individuals like J. Cole, Jay Electronica. You have Big Crit, David Banner, and a host of other individuals. And another very important and influential Southern rapper, Killer Mike. You see all the community work that he's doing, his political involvement, his campaigning for Bernie Sanders, That's who we are as Southerners. I say this as a proud Southerner, a person born and raised in Georgia. So when you look at everything that Southerners have been through and gone through to make the world a better place, you're cut from that same cloth. This is the birthplace of people like Dr. Martin Luther King, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Jim Brown, Jackie Robinson, Ray Charles, just a host of very influential, Ozzie Davis, very powerful Southern men. So I hope that you will listen to this and think about some of the things that I'm saying, because you got to think about all the struggles and humiliation, degradation that a lot of these men went through so they could pave the way for people like you and myself. And so when you're making your music, please look at your content and what you're putting out. And just understand a lot of Southerners have paid the ultimate price so that we could have some of the freedoms that we have today. And I'm sure you'll be able to analyze this video and think about some of the things that I'm saying. So hopefully next time you put out some music, it'll be very positive and people can grow to that music. And I also wanted to give you a lot of kudos and props for, I recently saw you during Christmas time, you provided some families with some toys, and I'm sure that had a great impact on those children's lives, and I respect and appreciate that. And you also were on Steve Harvey's show where you provided assistance to a family, and you deserve a lot of respect for that. I just hate that the media, if you could look back when you were getting in trouble for your possession of firearms charges, drug charges, anything negative, you received 24-hour coverage, interviews, everything. But when you do these positive things, you don't hear about it too much. You're not supposed to seek out attention for the positive things you do, but that shows that you're more of a holistic thinker and you do care about your community and you do things. So I would hope the media and other outlets, the Breakfast Club or any other outlets like that, will give you an opportunity to talk about the positive things that you're doing and talk about how you're trying to change and present a better image for African American males so that you can help some of the kids in your community. As I stated earlier, a lot of those kids that grow up in the Bankhead area, you are their de facto father. And I know your children go to private schools and you tell them or give them really positive information to grow and be better people. So try to do that sometime with your music, because a lot of those young kids are starving for that. And when they listen to you glamorize and glorify violence and prison and drugs, and the people that you sign do that, you know, that's just really not good for them. That's not giving them the type options that they need. That's not going to allow them to live up to their full potential, because I know you want them to live a healthy and productive life, just like you want your kids to live a healthy and productive life. So try to give them some of that information so they can live and grow and be productive citizens. So just continue to analyze and look at all the things that Southerners, people born and raised in Georgia, have done so that we could be in the position we're in. And please try to make music to help those kids become better people. Because a lot of times when they're looking for that person, it's typically somebody in the entertainment field or in the arena of sports. And you've got Atlanta pretty much locked down. So kind of show these guys that you're a lot better than just drugs and guns and jail and that pseudo tough guy image, because there's nothing tough about the drug life. It's much harder to work hard and go to college and try to be a good person. And like I was saying earlier, and when you look at all those other rappers, the Kendrick Lamars, the Kanye West, the J. Cole's, the Game, Killer Mike, and all these other people, you could be on their level as well. A lot of those individuals have had the opportunity to be invited to the White House because we're trying to move in a different direction as far as the culture. And it is slowly starting to change. And like I said earlier, you've seen some of your fellow Southerners go on different interviews and discuss, their maturation rate and their growth. And that's a beautiful thing to see. So please continue to analyze and look at these things so we can represent the South like it's supposed to be represented. And that's what some of the people that I mentioned earlier. You have a history of the greatest African Americans in the history of the world from your state, Georgia. So that's what we want to represent. You have Morehouse College and Spelman College in your state, two of the most prominent schools in the world. You have a cachet of some of the most intelligent African Americans on the planet right in your state. You could pull from those assets and utilize them to the best of your ability, because when you get out here as a rapper and you perpetuate those negative things, the drugs, the violence, the guns, and all that good stuff, you got to understand you're reproducing yourself. Men and people reproduce themselves. And when you talk about all these negative things, you reproduce yourself. And if you look at the younger tier rappers under you from Georgia, what are they rapping about? What are they talking about? If it's drug and violence, that's a destructive lifestyle. And you don't want that for your children or your grandchildren. So I know you don't want it for your younger brothers and sisters in the Bankhead area or in Atlanta or Georgia for that matter. So let's just continue to represent what real Georgia men are about. And if you see this video and you like it, if you think I'm saying something that's pertinent or important, make sure you share it on Facebook and or Twitter. Share it to as many friends as possible, and hopefully we can get some response or a good dialogue from TI so we could continue to grow and become better people. Thank you.